Hello friends, and welcome back to my crafting channel. I'm Rhonda, the Distressed Princess, and today I have cottage style thrift flips for you. And if you're looking for a comfortable pair of shoes, I have done a review for FitVille, and it's an honest review. I am not paid for this. They sent me shoes for my honest opinion, and it's good. So you're gonna wanna stick around for that, especially if you have foot pain. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. This week I went thrifting at one of my favorite thrift stores, the Renew Secondhand store in Marion, and I got some pretty good deals. The first thing I did was paint this mailbox with a coat of DIY paint in Swan White. And then I painted the details with this cobalt blue, which I decided was way too bright, and I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm going to go back over those details with this chalk paint from Waverly called Agave. I painted the top of the lid and the whole inside of this mailbox, but I was undecided on what color the words should be. So they're still blue for the moment, and I decided to go ahead and do my distressing while I decided. So I'm just taking some sandpaper and going around some places and sanding back some of that DIY white paint, which I'm loving, by the way. I love fusion paint, and I think that it goes on smoother, but the DIY paint is distressing so well. So I'm just distressing in some areas and revealing some of that black paint that's underneath, and still trying to decide what color my words should be. So to refinish it, I'm going to go back over it with some of that DIY paint. The color is Swan White, if I didn't mention that. So I'm just covering up that blue paint, and I'm going to dry it up with my hairdryer and try again. I picked one of my smallest detail brushes that I have to do this mail word, and the letters are raised, so I was lucky there. It would have been really hard to paint these details if the words were not raised. Then after I dried it up with my hair dryer, I'm going to go over it with some sandpaper, and this will scuff it up and make it look aged like the rest of the mailbox. I had a hard time deciding to stop there or keep going, and I had some ideas for IOD transfers. This was one idea I had, but ultimately I decided to go with a little patch of roses. So it's only a portion of the design. You don't have to use the entire design. This was actually roses out of a seed packet on the IOD transfer, but I cut it down so that just this little grouping of roses could go down in the corner. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. Now let's talk about these FitVille shoes. So a little bit of backstory. In 2018, I was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis, and that was so painful on my feet. My heels and my feet hurt so bad all the time. And so I started to buy expensive shoes to correct the problem, and they did. I had Brooks and Asics and Hoka shoes, but each pair can cost between $100 and $200. Now these shoes from FitVille are very good quality. I would say as good quality as those expensive shoes, and they cost way, way less. These are the Cloud Wanderer V16 shoes, and they run $59 a pair. I would absolutely compare them to these Hoka shoes, but the Hoka shoes are $175. My husband got to try a pair too. I think they look so cute with his jeans, and he says that they are so comfortable, and he likes that they are very lightweight. The FitVille website has a ton of different styles and kinds of shoes to choose from, So you're going to have fun looking around. When the FitVille company says freedom for your toes, they mean it. So what do you think? I think they're pretty cute shoes. And what's more, they are a fraction of the price of the shoes that I was buying for my plantar fasciitis. And remember, these are wide width shoes, so you'll want to make sure you're ordering the correct size. So I would actually measure my foot or order a half size down. I have a special discount code for the shoes that you saw in this video, 28% off if you type in the code RG28 at checkout. There's a link in my description box that will take you right to the website, or you can go to thefitVille.com. You may remember this piece from my last week's video. It's the top part of a little box that had this lid, but I didn't use the lid, so I saved it for another purpose, and I thought it would be a perfect little drawer situation if I only removed this top handle, and maybe I can replace it on another side. Now that the hardware is removed, it's ready for painting. I'm using the DIY paint in the color Swan White again, and I'm going to paint the whole outside of it with 2 coats. Now I'm taking some Waverly Antique Wax and a foam brush, and I'm going to do a dry brush just on the edges and just some in the middle. This gives a wooden effect, and also it does a lot for making this look distressed. But I'm not going to stop here because sometimes this can look overpowering, this brown on white. So I'm going to take some sandpaper and sand it, and this kind of integrates it more in with the white paint and softens it, makes it look a lot more realistic. I relocated the handle to the front side of the box, so this makes it look like a little pull-out drawer, and it's perfect for storing my antique and vintage ephemera and postcards. I thrifted this cute crate for only $2, and I wanted to do a cottage DIY with it, so of course I'm going to paint it white. Again, I'm using the DIY paint in the color Swan White, but I wondered what would happen if I used a stencil brush to apply the paint. And what I found is that I think it gives it a distressed look. It's almost like dry brushing without removing the excess paint. So I'm going right into the can of paint, and this is a little bit thicker part right here. But see, on the slat parts where it's just the wood is soaking in the paint and the brush is not getting too much on there, and it's kind of a perfect situation for distressing without having to do any distressing. I really had a lot of fun painting this little crate using this stencil brush, and I think it's worth a shot for anyone to try. Watch how this paint goes on at the end of this crate. So see, I don't have very much on my brush, and it's just going to work right into the wood, and it just looks so pretty, don't you think? So I really didn't have much distressing to do at all because it already looked distressed just after the painting. I only had to sand a couple little corners that I thought could use it, and that was it, guys. This took less than a couple of minutes. Next, I needed something to go inside of my little crate, and I had this little tea canister that I thrifted for a couple dollars at the Goodwill. It's been sitting around my stash for a long time, and I decided that the color of the tea little design on the front needed to be changed so it would match my cottage decor. So I'm going to go over it with some of that agave chalk paint. Then the color was a lot better, but the letters didn't pop out. So I'm using my liming wax from Fusion. You could use regular white wax, and if you just apply this over raised lettering that has been painted, then the lettering will pop out. I started applying it with a foam brush, but then I switched and started using my fingers, and either way I think it would be fine, but I had to layer a couple of layers for it to really take effect, but in the end I thought it looked a whole lot better. Okay, so here comes the canister into the crate, and I need something else in the crate. So my question is, should it be a little cup? If I had a really cute little ceramic teacup, that would be really nice. But all I have is this black enamelware one. Or it could be one of my Homer Laughlin dishes, because I loved the little flower print so much with the color of this agave blue. And I don't think I've really found just the right thing yet, so this will have to do, and I'll just keep looking. Now let's take a look back at all our cottage style thrift flips today. Time for a cute critter video. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful Easter weekend, and click the link to get those FitVille shoes, and I will see you next time. Bye.